Hello and welcome to our live show here at the second round of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. We're at Sri Rashar in Thailand, and this week we're on the podium here just next to the finish line, where my guests are Adam Wheeler from OnTrackOffroad.com and Romain Febvre from Wilvo Nastan, Husqvarna Factory Racing. A little bit later on we will be joining David Guarneri as well from TM Ritchie Racing. But it is a warm day here. We are blessed with a little bit of cloud cover, but I don't want to keep my first guest hanging around. So Romain Febvre, welcome to the show here. And first of all, congratulations on the podium 1 week ago in Qatar. It must have been pretty amazing for you to get it so early in the season.
Yeah, hello. And yeah, it was in Qatar, it was very exciting for me. So I get a podium again, like last year, the third place. So I hope it's gonna be a good year, and this weekend I hope minimum like last year, so second place, and yeah, we will see what happens.
I mean, was it expected, or did you expect yourself to be on the podium, or was it unexpected with it being a new bike in the team that you were on last year?
Yeah, before the season, yeah, we have a really good winter, really good, good training, hard training. So I was, pretty satisfied about my riding and everything. So yeah, before the race, I get directly the good feeling on the bike, on the track, like last year. So yeah, during the qualifying, I was riding really good with good lap time. So I need to take a good start and to be on the front.
Circuit conditions were a little bit different this year in Qatar. Looked a little bit drier, more slick. Did you prefer the conditions this time than in 2013 when it seemed to be a little bit softer?
Yeah, no, it was a little bit harder this year. It don't put a lot of water on the track, so it was pretty difficult to find a good line. So yeah, last year was better in 2013.
How was it getting that first podium result for Husqvarna in their new era? You know, was it something quite good? The team was buzzing, good messages for you?
Yeah, sure. It's good memories because when you get a podium, it's already good. But with a new brand like this, with Husqvarna, it's I'm the first to put the bike on the podium, so it's something special.
Obviously last week, the opening round, there were some surprises. Jeffrey wasn't as fast or as dominant as everybody expected him to be. Maybe a surprise yourself that you were on the podium, the first GP, not from your side, but maybe from the journalists and the neutral viewer. But in terms of the race itself, were you surprised at the speed of some of the other riders, like Dylan Ferrandis, Tonus, Max Anstey, for instance? Did these guys surprise you how fast they were in the first round?
Yeah, not a lot of riders surprised me. Sure, Erlings is always fast, but last week he was not so fast. He get some injured this winter, so it's why he have some problem now. But yeah, sure, the guys who surprised me it was Anstey, because Friday night he was not so fast, and yeah, at the race he was jumping the quad only one, and it was the only one that jumped the quad and one jump in the track. So yeah, it surprised me. Yeah.
Romain, was it hard for you to pass last week, or was it just because it was the first GP and it was a bit nervy? Because you posted that photo of you on Twitter after the race with the roost, you know, from all the stones. I mean, like, your torso was completely red, but I mean, you were stuck behind your teammate like Alex Tonkov for a long time. So what happened?
Yeah, sure. Everybody say it was difficult to pass, but not for me. Just the first race, it was difficult to pass my teammate. I don't know why, because when I was close to him, always I make a mistake. So all the time, I get the projection, the stones, the mud, and sure, it was a little bit difficult, but.
You were eating the roost for about 20 minutes there. I was watching trackside thinking, well, what was he doing? Why isn't he passing? Because you were just getting covered in the stuff.
Yeah, sure. It's I don't know why. It's and the second race I make a lot of pass on a rider, so I don't know why my teammate like this, but yeah.
But also we assume that we're in Qatar, the middle of the desert. It's not going to be so many stones, but the track is full of stones, isn't it? Which is obviously the reason why he got roosted so much, and that. But just fill us in, tell us a little bit about your background. How old were you when you first started riding? And I think I read somewhere that you used to ride in Supermoto as well. I know that you rode in Cahors, the Supermoto, the last round of the World Championship a couple of years ago after you'd won the European title. So just a little bit about, how old were you when you started racing, and how you went from riding Supermoto into motocross, or was it always motocross but with a little bit of Supermoto?
No, I started when I was 3 years old, motocross, like I think everybody now. And I start the race at 6 years old, race motocross on 50. And after I still ride on the French Championship during many years. And I stopped in 2010 because, 2009 because in 2006 because I broke my knee one time. So I need to stop like 6 months. And during this time I have the opportunity to make some supermoto, so it's like motocross, but you don't need. You always sit. You have the off-road for sure, but it's less physical than motocross. So I started and I was enjoying it. And my father said, "Oh, maybe we can make the French Championship on a supermoto on 85." So I say, "Yeah, why not?" And we start like this till end of 2009, and during 2009 I make some race from the World Championship also in Supermoto. It was not so bad, and during the winter from 2010, with my sponsor Wagner, we say why we don't come back on the motocross now, because my knee was okay, and everything was fine. And the supermoto, it's not growing up, I think. So it's why we restart in the motocross in 2010 for the French Championship. And 2011, I became European champion. And after I started in World Championship in 2012.
So a great decision then for you to suddenly decide, go from Supermoto back into motocross. Immediately you're European champion and now in MX2, which last year you came here, surprised a few people, third overall at second overall here with 2 second places. The second race obviously in with the super final guys, but in terms of your speed and the start to the season last year, as we said, third in Qatar, second here. We went back to Europe and then you got injured. How difficult, how frustrated were you watching the racing from home, knowing that you could have been riding in the top 3, challenging for at least top 3 or 4 in the World Championship, maybe winning some races, getting on more podium? How difficult was that?
Yeah, it was really difficult for me. Sure, when I get injured, and I didn't crash, so I get injured in a corner. And directly when I was on the floor, after I said, my first word was my championship, because I know I was second, and it's difficult, it's a challenge, but it was pretty difficult. I start when I saw the doctor, he said, you are 9 weeks out, and I start after 6 weeks. The feeling was back again on the bike, the speed also. Everything was good, and just before the GP of France, I hurt again my ankle, so I lost complete my confidence before this GP, and it was difficult. France and Italy was really difficult. I stopped every race, I think, and but after you have 15 days out without GP, so my pain in my foot was gone, and I can ride like I know.
Romain, this time last year, we were all looking at you as one of the new kind of bright lights, the new prospects in MX2. You got that podium last week, so you're at a similar level in results. So, but compared to the rider you were this time last year, are you any different? Are you a bit more wiser, a bit more faster? Or what's the condition? What's the feeling like?
Yeah, it's I got the same result. This year, I think I have more experience. Last year, I was little bit not I don't know you say how you call that in English, but I was like young in my head, you know, so
Immature.
yeah, exactly. And so I make many mistakes like this. So I think this year I don't do that. And I know it's my last year in the MX2 class, so I need to do well, and I need to do well.
Obviously, same team but different bike, new teammate. How do you and Alex Tonkov get on? Do you spend much time together? Are you riding buddies during the week? Do you train together, this kind of thing, or do you pretty much do your own thing?
No, I do my own things because when he come in the team, it was a little bit difficult because he have his personality and it's not the same as mine. So it was difficult. Yeah, it was not difficult, but we have some trouble. But now, it's fixed, and I do my own things like last year. I was with Jake. It was good. Yeah, we are a good relationship together. But just I do my own things, and that's it.
And what is the objective now for you? You podium last week at the first round. What are you expecting this weekend and for the rest of the season?
Yeah, to win, sure. Last year I passed Erlings. Yeah, he passed me back on the same lap, but I know I have the speed. Just take always a good start, and to be on the front, it's easier. So sure I have the speed. I have the good condition, so I can finish first.
Maybe just one quick question about here, Romain. I mean, there's your 5th fastest after the first session. There's like 0.7 of a second. I know it's the first, so the track's going to get a bit rougher, but you know, it's quite dry out there, isn't it? What's your feeling on the terrain and the layout and everything here?
Yeah, this practice area was good. Yeah, sure, the track was flat, little bit dry, but compared to last year. But yeah, it's a good feeling. I hope it's gonna be more bumpy, and it's a nice track. Just I hope he put a lot of water on the track. So yeah.
Okay, well, Romain Febvre, thanks for joining us here. Will van der Staan, Husqvarna Factory Race. Of course, we wish you all the best this weekend and for the 2014 season.
Thank you.
So we'll let you go now and get yourself cooled down and ready for time training a little later on.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, our next guest is going to be David Guarneri. We wait for him, the TM Ritchie Racing rider, to get himself into position. But Adam Wheeler, some interesting comments there from Romain Febvre, especially with his teammate and that situation.
Yeah, I think he was quite diplomatic there, wasn't he, Paul? I mean, it's not such a huge secret that those two are not the best of buddies in that Husqvarna team. But, you know, it's pick what cliche you want. As long as they're getting the job done on the track, then it doesn't matter if they're coming in the paddock and ignoring each other. So it's probably not such an easy situation for Jackie Martins, the team manager. But you know, I mean, he got the podium. That first one for Husqvarna so important last week, and now like the onus is on Tonkov, isn't it? If there isn't such a great relationship there, then maybe he's going to be thinking, right, I've got to get him back. Otherwise, he's going to be putting himself into a position where he's top dog in the team.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, joining us now, our final guest on our studio show here in Thailand, David Guarneri, former 4th place finisher in MX2, but now riding the TM Ritchie Racing factory machine. David, welcome to Thailand, 2nd round of the World Championship. Before we start talking about 2014, it was good to see last year from around about Maggiore in the World Championship that you were finally starting to show some good speed and some consistency. But then obviously you got injured, didn't you, in Germany, but you're back.
Well, before that, where's your hat? This guy's like rocking one of the most stylish hats in the paddock. It's gone.
They stolen to me. It's just outside. They can bring me in if they want.
There we go.
Italian style. Look, you know,
doesn't work like that now. So yeah, last year you were showing good signs of and good consistency around about Maggiore, and then you got injured in Germany. Tell us about that. What was the injury and how are you feeling now?
First of all, hello to everybody, and of course, last year I had the first time I had injuries in Maggiore, is in Mantova in the beginning of the season, the Starcross, and I get I needed 2-3 months for get back my speed and my feeling with the bike in the perfect mood, and more or less just the race also before Maggiore I start to get faster. Also, Ernea was good, and and after I was every race, every heat better and better, and after I was inside the top 10 of the overall, we was privateer, and then was okay, but in the end, you know, I crashed in the start and I injured again and my ankle, and I tried to race in Finland, but was too painful and was not enough good, my ankle, for the competition at this level, and I just pulled it off.
And obviously that was the last time you scored points, and you were 10th in the championship at that stage. So again, how difficult, we asked this question to Romain Febvre a moment ago, but how difficult was it for you, a rider who we kind of expect to be inside the top 10 or maybe even higher, between 5 and 10, but that opportunity for you was taken away with your injury in Germany?
Yeah, you know what, you work for that goal. My goal was to be in the top 10, and in that point we was already in the top 10. I was looking forward maybe 9 or 8 because my speed was going up, and it's difficult when especially when you crash in the start and you don't maybe it's not your fault sometimes, and but it can happen and you cannot race anymore, you know. It was quite kind of hard also because after all the time you have to start from the beginning. You don't lose everything, but at this level also when you lose something, physical condition or speed, it's not easy to coming back immediately strong like before.
Well, obviously you're riding with TM, back with Ritchie Racing. You were there for 4 or 5 years before. We've just seen some images now of the brand new bike, the chassis. It's been redesigned so that the tank, the fuel tank, is underneath the seat. The filter is where the tank used to be. How is it to ride, and how busy was the winter program for you in terms of getting test time and that kind of thing, or is it so new that you're still testing the bike?
Yeah, first of all, we are with the Italian team, Italian rider, and an Italian bike, and I think is we can only us we can say this combination, you know, and this is important. And of course now we are still developing the bike because the new bike arrived just the week before Riola Italian Championship, because they really put down so big effort to build the bike and to test some parts before the beginning of the season, because it was not easy for them because the bike is completely new. Frame is different, everything is different. Right now we are using a prototype. The bike is, we have just few parts and few bikes because we are testing every time we go in the track. We are testing, we are discovering maybe new solutions. Some maybe can working better, some is working maybe worse, but it's normal when you're working on one prototype to try everything is possible. They are putting big effort, the factory down in Italy, also all the people, Ritchie Racing team, and also, you know, Gastone, the boss of the factory, and Ricciardi, all the people is working at that project, is working hard for growing up faster. We can do it.
Do you think sometimes people are a bit unfair about the TM, you know, because it hasn't won a race in the Premier category? They say, oh, the bike's not good, it's too slow. But if you talk to riders like, you know, yourself, Tanner Leuk, Sean Simpson, they say, look, the bike is fast, you know, is able to do the job.
You know what I can say, the first race was quite kind of good for me also, you know. You can see the bike had a really good potential. All the people, you know, they know Honda, Kawasaki, Japanese brand, they are a bit more famous because they are a really long time and they really put a big budget and big effort on the competition. But if you can see the Italian people, Italian brand like TM, they are working really hard. They have almost a level, we can say, with the new bike. We want to maybe to arrive one step forward to also to the other guys, win one bike made completely in Italy, and I think that is amazing how they can do like this. Saturday I almost had the whole shot, the engine working really well. For sure, like I said, all the prototype have to be developed quite long, when also all the new Japanese bike exit past year before with the new bike is difficult. They immediately going well, you know. But I think we have to be proud for the job we did.
I think last weekend in Qatar you surprised everybody. We didn't know how the bike was going to be, but in the qualifying race you flew out of the start, second position for the first 2 or 3 laps before you crashed. You in the right-hander turn 5, I think. Yes. But I thought it was a collision maybe with you and Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, but I spoke to Ilario on Friday, maybe Thursday when we came here. He said, no, it was a mistake all by yourself. You jumped long and overshot the corner and fell, whereas Van Hoorbeek maybe just reacted to that and lost concentration and fell all by himself. But that initial impression, the start that you got, there's nothing wrong with the power. The position that you held before you crashed, you look very comfortable there. And I've got to say, when I saw you last week, you look strong, you look fit, you look like you've been working hard in the winter as well. Is that the case? Is that the motivation that riding for an Italian brand, an Italian team, and being Italian has given you that extra impetus to want to be successful with this team?
Yeah, for sure, working with all the people are pushing themselves really hard for make better they can, or the bike, or the team, or the parts, or the organization, push you also for your effort in training and in fitness and everything. It's already kind of 2-3 years I'm feeling quite well training, and you have to consider also when I get a bit injured, you have to stop a bit, but right now I'm feeling quite well, you know. Of course, race like this with really hot weather or can be really big sand for everybody are tough, but we're working with the best, and then we won't have to competition with the best. You know, like you said in Qatar, we are happy, but we cannot be too happy too early. Understand what I mean? Like maybe it was good track for us, was hard pack, was not big bumps, but the speed we can say was really like top rider there. Right now we have something else to try to today in these days. We want to set the bike better we can also for all the tracks, and for sure we will have some really good weekend, and maybe weekend more hard, but that's normal. I think I'm working also, I'm developing also the bike with them, and then I'm happy for it, because when you can try many parts, you also can understand where the bike can growing up and when not.
David, sometimes is it tough for you to be like Italian in this category? You know, with Cairoli having such success and Philip Arts being the first MX1 world champion, even Lupino last year taking a couple of podiums. You know, or is it good for you that, you know, like channels like Mediaset are showing the GPs, and it's, you know, how is it kind of being sort of Italian with such successful group of Italians in the series?
Yeah, what you said is kind of interesting, because we can talk maybe longer of that, but okay, now we don't have time. But I can say like this, you know, for sure will be easier also for in sponsorship way everything to be maybe the only rider in one nation to be strong. But you know, that helping also the competition between each other, also to Italian championship and everything to growing up, you know. We cannot say nothing about Cairoli, because he is super fit, super strong right now, 7-time world champion, and then is also a good point for us, you know, to see him also in the national championship, to see him every time how he can take the part of the track and maybe learning something. With Philippas and Lupino, we are going a bit. Everybody is going quite well right in the moment, and the only bad things I can say, if I look to the young riders in the moment, I don't see really many good riders in Italy right now. Yes, I can see like few young riders like Monticelli was riding really well in the Italian championship before getting injured. But I can be proud what I did, you know. Every day, day by day, I want to do better and maybe take better position than what I did in the past. But in the end, if you want to say, some things are better, some things are more difficult. But you know, there are many nations with many good riders. You can say like Belgium, France, England. Then it's a bit same for everybody.
All right, just real quick before you let you go, and I have a couple minutes with Adam, but the circuit here last year we had the big rain on Saturday, but track looks pretty perfect today. This weekend, I'm not sure if we're going to get rain. Some said yesterday, maybe a little bit today. Hopefully, if we do get rain, it's not as big and as heavy as we had last year on Saturday. But how did you find the track today in the first practice session?
For sure, it's drier than last year, and it's already coming a bit harder in some points. If you get a bit of rain, for sure will be okay. Because also last year we have strong rain, but after it's dry in 2-3 hours, dry quickly here with the really hot weather. For me, it's the same. You know, we are going the track we were in the track just half an hour ago. The track is looks already kind of slippery in some parts, but for sure it will exit with many lines and quite gnarly bumps before tomorrow, because they repeat some downhills and some brake parts, and then we make different for sure of that. Also, jumps are quite long here down in Thailand, and where for sure make some spectacular passes.
Everybody seems to be making that big triple jump in the middle now. Did you try it yourself? Did you get over it, or is it safer not to?
No, I did it. I did it 2-3 times this morning. It's really big. I think it's 40 meters or something. It's really big double jumps. You know, I think sometimes maybe they can make shorter jumps because for sure it's spectacular. For sure it's good to pass this jump, but sometimes are really long and high. But you know what? This morning was quite good because the takeoff was really good and also the landing was really good. We had space also if you arrive long to go outside the track, what I did the first time I tried. But we see how it will be when the braking bumps are coming. Tracks sometimes are changing a lot during the weekends, and maybe now it's faster to jumps, but if outside the corner coming really rough, maybe it's better to scrap it and go inside. You know, we have to see. Every time we go in the track, have to choose the better way to do it.
Okay, David Guarneri from TM Ritchie Racing, thanks for joining us here. I'm going to let you disappear, and I'm going to just grab 2 minutes with Adam Wheeler from On Track Off Road. So, David Guarneri, TM Ritchie Racing, all the best for this weekend and for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Bye.
No problem. Right, Adam Wheeler, just real quick. In terms of the situation that we find ourselves in now, this weekend, round 2, quite an interesting round in Qatar, wasn't it, in MX2 and also in the MXGP class. Let's elaborate.
Yeah, if we start with MX2, then it's a case of who's going to challenge Jeffrey Hurlings. We've had Dylan Ferrandis, beg your pardon, Romain Febvre and also Max Anstey kind of stepping up and saying, hey, listen, I might have something for you. He came off the track after the second moto last week and was pretty angry, fair to say. He didn't think he rode like he should have done. He's only had 3 weeks riding on the bike during the winter because of his injury. So Hurlings could either disappear here tomorrow, or we could see another one of these faces challenging him, which might set a little bit of an interesting kind of tone for the championship as we head back to Europe for next month. If we come to MXGP, then I think we're already seeing the start, after just one round, of a little duel between Gautier Paulin and Tony Cairoli. Maybe it's the protagonist for this year's championship. We still got more to come from Clement Dessau, whereas there's huge question marks over the likes of Monster Energy Kawasaki, Stephen Frossard, and also Team HRC's Max Nagel, who won the very first moto of the year. The first one since 2011, I think, for him. So, yeah, there's like we were talking earlier, Paul, there's still, in these early phases of the championships, a real potential for shocks. There's no firm questions. By the time we get to round 7 or 8, you know that Cairoli's going to be starting well, or the Suzukis are going to be starting well, and you know you can more or less see a kind of pattern as the way things are going to go. But here there's still this huge kind of open canvas.
In the MXGP category, probably the one that didn't get off to the flying start, Clement Dessau on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki machine. He's going to be hoping to be digging deep this weekend, isn't he? Try and claim some scalps and pull some points back in these hot and humid conditions. 37 degrees it's going to be this weekend on race day, and of course today during qualifying. He needs to react to the situation from last week. I know we are only in round 2, but he can't afford for these guys to get too far ahead, can he?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if we look last year as well, take into account some history, then you had Paulin, Cairoli and Dessau on the podium of the first round, and then here, the same podium trio. So, you know, judging by the speed so far that we've seen, then you're going to be looking also at Dessau moving up at some point. That Suzuki was consistently in the top 5 around the first corner at every moto last year, and that bike hasn't got any slower. They've still got some new parts to come. There's still some kit, some trick kit coming from Japan. So I think, with Dessau, that there's still plenty more to come. Of course, a whole winter recovering from that broken shoulder at the Motocross of Nations. And at 24 years old, he's still, such a young rider. He's got so much more to offer, so he's so strong. So, with Clement, it's always a little bit of a head game. And I think he's just sort of switched it on last week in Qatar, without much time on the bike. And let's see what he can do tomorrow.
All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up here for our studio show here in Thailand at Sri Rashar, round 2 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. Of course, we look forward to watching all the action live, as always, on the weekend. So, Adam Wheeler, thanks very much from On Track Off Road. Of course, thanks to Romain Febvre from Wilvo Nastar, Husqvarna Factory Racing, and David Guarneri, TM Ritchie Racing. We wish them all the best, not just for this weekend, but for the season as well. And based on the times this morning in free practice, MX2 looks like it's going to be quite a roller coaster ride. 3/4 of a second separating the first 6 riders in that morning warm-up today. I can't wait. I hope it's going to be a mouth-watering prospect. So that's it from this weekend. We'll see you, in 3 weeks' time when we head to Brazil, round 3. Hope you can join us then. Bye for now.